Tonight on the MTN News.
The more we watched, the lower they were getting. It sounded a little funny.
Careful of rotor tilt.
A Lifeflight helicopter crashes in Montana.
Also, a long-awaited solution to a toxic problem.
This is 20 years ago. They should have had, under control by now.
What the EPA is now doing, in a part of Billings that's been designated a Superfund site.
And her quest to graduate captivated the community.
I'm grateful that we were able to do that and make a difference for kids that will follow in Emily's footsteps.
We hear from the family of Emily Pennington as the state settles a class action lawsuit on aging out policies.
The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Andrea Lutz.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. We begin tonight with the latest on a Lifeflight helicopter crash early this morning in Lincoln, Montana. That's in Lewis and Clark County.
That helicopter out of Missoula was landing in the middle of town to pick up a patient overnight when things took a terrible turn.
Certainly a chilling moment. As MTN's Evan Charney reports, the situation could have taken a far darker turn, though.
That's right. Everyone walked away from the crash relatively uninjured. And while we still have a lot of questions about how and why the chopper went down, we do know a little bit of information. It was a Lifeflight coming from Missoula. There were 3 people on board, and none of them were patients. When the helicopter crashed, it was in the process of landing to pick up a patient.
It's literally like in the movies where it's like slow motion, things flying past you. That was what it was like.
Brandy Lindstrom lives in Lincoln and was awake with friends when a helicopter suddenly crashed in the Midtown Plaza parking lot right on Main Street. She says she could tell there was a problem even before the crash.
It was like right above the trees. You could tell it was going to be a really hard landing. And the sign doesn't have any lights or really anything to it to begin with. It was just an empty sign. So it would have been hard to see.
Brandy and her friends could only watch as the chopper hit the ground.
The more we watched, the lower they were getting. It sounded a little funny. And next thing you knew, they hit the pole and the helicopter crashed.
As soon as the helicopter hit, Brandy sprung into action.
I told my friends to run, but then I ran up here to help try to get them out of the helicopter. There was fuel leaking.
Brandy said thankfully emergency crews were quick to respond and the pilot had already been pulled out, but there were others inside.
It was just me and then the one officer at the time. He already had the pilot out, and then we were all getting the other door open to get the other 2 out.
Brandy says she was so thankful everyone walked away with no injuries. In Lincoln, Evan Charney, MTN News.
An amazing story of survival tonight as a missing hiker from Billings is found safe in the Beartooth Mountains after a massive search. The 73-year-old man was reported missing Saturday night and eventually spotted late Monday by an Air Force helicopter using thermal imaging about 7 miles from his last known location on the Beartooth Plateau. A doctor was lowered in to help, and this morning the Montana National Guard airlifted him to safety. The Stillwater County Sheriff says the man is in good overall condition.
A man who police say slammed into one of their cruisers over the weekend, then took off running, made a first appearance in court today. Johan Cruz Cuellar pleaded not guilty to 1 felony count of criminal endangerment and a misdemeanor charge of driving under the influence, as well as obstructing a peace officer. The crash happened early Saturday morning in the area of 10th Street West and Avenue C. Police initially said Cuellar was from Honduras, but the state said today it's not clear where he's from. Bond was set at $25,000, but Cuellar is also being detained on an immigration hold.
Billings residents could soon get relief from toxic chemical vapors creeping into their homes.
The EPA is stepping in with a plan to install mitigation systems that block a chemical linked to cancer from decades-old dry cleaning sites.
Sir Charlie Kleps reports hundreds of homes and businesses in the Billings downtown core could benefit.
Residents still remember the early days
When they were digging and whatnot, looking for bad groundwater.
20 years ago, when it was discovered that a longtime laundromat on Central Avenue caused groundwater pollution in much of downtown Billings.
I know they have warn people about it.
Jerry Jeffries was living here on Cook Avenue at that time and remembers it vividly, though he says his concerns never rose.
That's something, like I said, I don't have to worry about it because I use city water.
But that wasn't the case for everyone.
We are concerned with 3 different types of contaminated media.
Layla Londeros with the EPA says their organization was looking at it from the beginning and will continue to study the 1,000 acres affected still today.
The contamination of concern, primary contamination of concern, is PCE, which is a chemical solvent primarily used in historical dry cleaning operations.
Londeros says there are significant health risks that can come from exposure, which is why the EPA has spent the last 20 years checking the groundwater, soil, and now are moving on to the air.
This summer, we have released the proposed plan to address vapor intrusion in the Billings area.
The EPA says this is the area that could be affected, stretching from 1st Avenue North down to Industrial Avenue. Jeffries lives in that zone.
I've been here for 30 years, and I think 35 years. You are going to get me what have got me by now.
Though Jeffries isn't concerned, there are in total nearly 2,700 residential properties affected by that groundwater pollution. It's an issue the EPA is working to solve, which is why they're having a public meeting at the Billings Public Library on Wednesday night.
At this meeting, we will go through all of the proposed plan details, collect public comment, and answer any questions.
Londeros says the goal of the meeting is also to spread the word about these mitigation devices, which the EPA is suggesting residents in this area install in their homes.
That fan will eventually pull up the vapors, pull them through the PVC pipe, filter them through a carbon filter, and emit them into the atmosphere.
The EPA is hoping for a packed crowd Wednesday night. Even residents that aren't worried, like Jeffries, plan to attend.
I would just kind of like to see what kind of actions they're taking.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Temperatures are pretty warm. The exception down in southwest Montana in the mid to upper 70s, otherwise 80s, 90s. Kalispell right now at 93. Billings is warmed all the way up to 88, and Sheridan, you are right in there as well. 87 for you in Miles City. But it's around the region as well, well up into Canada. We're seeing these 80-degree readings here for this afternoon. But the other thing that we're seeing, the dew point starting to go up. All those plus signs on the numbers across the region, that shows an increase in the amount of moisture that's available in the atmosphere, and that creates the environment for showers and thunderstorms that could produce some heavy rain. We're going to take a look at the potential for that and the rest of the forecast details right on through Labor Day coming up in a few minutes.
Tonight, a follow-up on Emily Pennington's fight against School District 2's aging out policy. The issue captured local headlines as Emily was denied graduation, and the community stood beside her.
Well, tonight, Hannah Pettiferi shares the family's reaction after a class action lawsuit over the policy is finally settled in Montana.
This was 2 years ago.
It was so exciting.
Emily Pennington remembers how it felt crossing the stage at her West High School graduation.
She's accomplished something with difficulties that other kids have not had to deal with, you know, physical and academic.
Her mom, Jana, says now she continues to stay active in the community.
She still works in their child care center, and she loves it. She volunteers at a preschool.
The Billings community watched as Emily's mission to graduate was placed on hold due to a district aging out policy.
The joy that she had her senior year, I mean, it was just so great.
The district changed its policy after public outcry and support.
She was able to have her senior year, and she had a lot of great experiences.
Emily's story of aging out is just one of many. So, when the Penningtons heard about a recent class action lawsuit to allow students with disabilities to stay in school until 22, they felt grateful.
I'm grateful that we were able to do that and make a difference for kids that will follow in Emily's footsteps.
But before the suit, Billings schools and the Montana legislature amended age-out policies.
As soon as that bill passed, we made sure that we opened the opportunity.
Superintendent Dr. Garcia says a new vocational program will accommodate 13 students this year, hitting that aging out mark.
We feel that that's the best course of action for students beyond the traditional age of graduation.
Jana appreciates the changes.
Sometimes there's extenuating circumstances with, and I think not only kids with disabilities, physical disabilities, but, you know, all types of disabilities that need a little help to get them where they can be to be a part of the community, to be involved.
Because she and Emily know the value of a complete education.
It really enabled her to gain the skills that she needed to be like an active participant in our community.
In Billings, Hannah Pettiferry, MTN.